Hunt 'em Big with Steve Bartilla. Brought to you by Wildlife Research Center, the gold standard. Reconics, see what you've been missing. Get armed and deadly with Easton's FMJ arrows. The heater bodysuit, you stay warm or your money back. And Hunter's Safety System, saving lives is what we do.
Talk to serious hunters much, and eventually you're going to hear them say something to the extent of, yeah, I can't hunt like they do on TV. That's a different world. Different comments like that. You know what? You're 100% right. The reason that most people can't hunt like they see on TV is because they don't hunt ground that's anything like what you see on TV. One of the biggest tips I can give you is when it comes to hunting a piece of property, the very first thing you need to do is you need to determine the level of hunting pressure that general area receives. If it's high hunting pressure, forget about what you're reading in most magazines, articles. Forget about what you're seeing on TV because it's not going to work. You think about trying to hunt a 3.5-year-old buck on ground that's heavily hunted. Now, how did that buck make it to 3.5? If he's doing the types of things we expect him to do that he's supposed to, you know what? He's probably dead already. You take this one chunk of public ground that I hunt. It's only about 300 acres, and I have never showed up there without there being at least 6 vehicles in the parking lot. You think the bucks on that ground, you think they've ever heard rattling and calling before? If they were going to come into it, guess what? They're already dead. Instead, you're essentially jumping up, waving your arms, and saying, hey, idiot, I'm over here, I'm trying to kill you. When it comes to pressured deer, you have to go ahead and do everything you reasonably possibly can to do absolutely nothing to draw any attention to you, the hunter, whatsoever. My entire approach, quite frankly, to hunting public ground and pressured deer is find those pockets that other hunters do not go. Because guess what? If Mr. Big is living in that area, that's where 9 times out of 10 at least, that's where he's got his daylight core area. That is where he's burning his legal shooting hours in the areas we don't go. That's how they survive on those pummeled grounds. I shot at least an 8.5-year-old buck off of public ground a couple years back, had absolutely no teeth left. It took everything I could to unravel this bad boy. What I'm really getting at there is unraveling him was finding that spot nobody else went. It was too darn much work to get back in there. That's where you want to hunt. You hunt there and you keep your disturbances to an absolute bare minimum. Don't bring 10 buddies back there to help you set the stand. I'm going to, at most, bring one friend with you and minimize that walking around. You're going to be hunting there this fall, you get out there the spring before. You hang that stand. Can you leave it there? Well, maybe some ground that I haven't hunted, you can. Most public ground, though, you can't leave your stands up. But you know what? You sure can prep that tree. You can hang that stand, you can tear it down, take it out with you. Now, you come back this fall, you can get in an hour early, have your bow in your hand, your stand and sticks on your back, and you can go ahead and slip that thing up there with virtually no disturbance at all, be hunting. And you're hunting deer that have no clue you are there, and that is a very, 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 very important thing. It's fine if they realize that there's hunting pressure out there. As long as they feel safe here, and we happen to be hunting in that corner right down there, we got a fighting chance. So do absolutely nothing to draw attention to you when you're hunting pressured bucks. Now, I truly enjoy trying to hunt pressured deer, and frankly, between us, there's no way I'd be able to stand here and try to pretend that I can help you become a better hunter by learning from my mistakes if I never ever hunt like you guys do. So I spend half my season hunting ground that anybody in the world can. Okay, I do have an advantage that this is my job, so I've got extra time to do this stuff. But that is my key for taking bucks out of those places, keeping disturbances low. Now, the other 50% of the time, I'm hunting on ground that I manage for clients. And, one of my primary missions in setting up management plans for clients and instituting them is to make it so their deer are ignorant. Why do you want to hunt ignorant deer? Well, they move more during daylight, for one. And for another, it is really, really, really easy for me to look really, really smart when I'm hunting those pristinely managed grounds. When you have low pressure deer, now is when you can rattle. Now is when you can call. Now is when you can go ahead and do some decoying. You can do these cool things that you see on TV, and you know what? Heck, many times you could take 2 arrows and go like this with them. And actually, I mean, may only be a 1.5-year-old buck, but rattle in a buck using nothing but your arrows. When you're dealing with stupid deer, it's really, really, really easy to look smart. When you're dealing with pressured deer, those deer aren't ignorant. They understand that the gig is up if they mess up. So either they're dead or they do their best not to mess up. Gauge the hunting pressure and cater your hunting tactics appropriately, and you're going to fill a heck of a lot more tags. One of the best things you can do is figure out how much hunting pressure your area receives, and then cater your hunting style to match that pressure. If it's high pressure, you want super, super low impact. Focus on finding those areas where no one else goes, and that's almost always where Mr. Big is going to have his daylight core area. Okay. If it's low pressure, man, game on. You can play all sorts of stuff with these deer. They're just not anywhere near as paranoid, anywhere near as cautious as those public landers are. And lastly, I want to say thanks. You guys have all been flipping awesome to me. I'm getting view numbers on these various shows that I never dreamt possible, and I really appreciate it. Quite honestly, I can't do this without you guys. And to say that's lost on me, well, it never is. Thank you very much.